This is TJ Paysinger with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. As you can see, my partner Jonathan McMath is not alongside today for the Touchdown Alabama Magazine show. We will get back to that after a quick hiatus, but for now, we will give you quick, short reports on the Crimson Tide week in and week out throughout this 2010 season. The Crimson Tide coming off a huge road victory in Knoxville this past weekend, 41-10 for the fourth straight win over those Vols. Alabama fans gotta love that. Scored 41-10, like I mentioned, and Nick Saban was very happy with the way the guys came out in the second half as opposed to that sluggish first half start.
I was really proud of the way we come out and really sort of dominated the second half of the game. 3 scoring drives in a row offensively. Every SEC organization you have to have respect for. Players, everybody has good players, they're all talented, and certainly in a game like this, both teams are going to be up and ready to play. This is the best we probably played on the road this year, especially in the second half, which is good. Our focus this week was to try to distinguish ourselves by playing to a little higher standard and challenged everybody to do that. And I felt like, especially in the second half, we did that.
So as you can see, Nick Saban very happy with the way his boys played in that second half. Defensively, they played well pretty much the entire game, with the exception of a 59-yard run by Tennessee's Tyron Poole. That run allowed him to become the first 100-yard rusher against the Crimson Tide in 41 games, dating back to 2007 at Ole Miss. So that is an astonishing number, but it had to end sometime. Some of these young players on the Bama defense, though, are stepping up each and every week, kind of growing up right before our eyes, I guess you could say. Most notably this week was DeMarcus Milliner, had a huge crushing hit on Denarius Moore of Tennessee. Very scary moment for the Volunteers, but luckily and thankfully, Denarius Moore is fine. He will be back next week, just banged up and could not come back into that game from a very serious concussion, it looks like. Julio Jones is definitely the player to take away from the Tennessee game as having the best performance. 221 yards on 11 catches. He moved into second place all-time on Alabama's all-time receiving list. DJ Hall is still in front of him. Unlikely that Jones will break that, depending on if he goes pro or not, but it's very hard to say at this point. But it was definitely a breakout game for him. He seems to do well against Tennessee every year, and this year was no different. He made several just great catches, including one at the start of the second half that seemed to break things open for that Tide offense. Julio, ever the humble guy, had this to say about his performance.
We just took what they gave us, and it was one-on-one over there. Sometimes they rolled safety to me, and we took advantage of the opportunity when the safety didn't roll to me, and I stepped up and made big plays.
It's a long time coming. Were you excited about those opportunities?
Yes, sir. The offensive line gave us protection, gave us time to throw the ball and make some big plays.
You had a career, so you set a school record now for receiving yards in a single game. How's that feel?
It's all right. I feel all right, but as long as the offensive line, I think they're more than anything, and Greg, without them, I couldn't do what I did tonight.
Well, I think it was a combination of just, I can't say it was frustration, but the fact that we just had those opportunities there for us, and we finally just took advantage of them. And Coach Mack did a great job giving us opportunities to make plays. Julio did a great job getting open and beating man-to-man coverage, and we just did a good job as an offense of making them pay. So.
We just took what the defense gave us. They were trying to catch us. Just trying to get us to underneath routes tonight. And we came in at halftime and we felt like we can run past those guys. And Coach Mack did a great job, adjusting, and Greg did some great balls and offensive line blocked well.
Now for a few quick practice notes. Julio Jones looked great today. That hand doesn't seem to be a factor anymore, which is very good news for Alabama fans. DJ Fluker was out of the black no-contact jersey, and he was working with the first team today. So he looks to take that spot back from Alfred McCullough, who stepped in, looked for DJ to start in Baton Rouge. And Courtney Upshaw's high ankle sprain looked to be bothering him a little bit. He was getting taped up before practice, so hopefully he can make a speedy recovery and rest up in these next 2 weeks. Definitely going to need his presence at Jack linebacker, rushing off the end during these last few games. That'll do it, folks. Remember, I'm TJ Paysinger. You can watch this video at touchdownalabama.net, as well as all of me and Jonathan McMath's scouting reports from the season, as soon as we get that started up again on the Touchdown Alabama Magazine show. But until then, just watch our reports. We'll have them for you every week, and thanks for watching.